Are you ready, lifter? Here is your next lesson from the Recreational Lifters Free Fitness course, helping you evolve into who you deserve to be. What is stress and how to deal with distress like a pro? In this lesson, we'll review 7 facts surrounding stress and how to deal with it in the most effective ways. But first off, why would you want to control your stress levels at all? To kick things off, let's make a clear distinction here between stress and distress. Stress is a normal physiological response to changed conditions, either inside or outside, that prepares your body to better deal with those changed conditions. It is a necessary function. Without it, we wouldn't survive or evolve. Distress, on the other hand, is a state where stress has gotten out of hand. Either the stress is produced unproportionately in response to a stimulus, mental breakdowns over spilled ice cream, or it is prolonged and unresolved, chronic stress. Prolonged and out-of-hand stress wreaks havoc in the body and brain. As for metabolism, distress is one of the most harmful problems that could slow down your fat loss or bodybuilding goal. You can correct nutrition and physical activity in one day. These are what I see as simple actions. But you can't just switch off the distress, especially when it is a product of a negative feedback loop or bad habit. Distress untreated causes the same kind of hormonal problems that sleep disorders do. It is one of the reasons why people ruin their sleep, and the negative feedback loop feeds itself. Bad chronic distress can cause all of these issues listed. Increased and decreased hunger by means of emotional eating. Decreased motivation. Increased inflammation and insulin resistance. Decreased willpower and motivation. Increase the storing of visceral fat around your vital organs. Slow down your cognitive function. Decreased access to new and old memory function. Impair learning. Create mood disorders. All of these things push the negative feedback loop faster. Basically, stress affects everything from a physiological perspective, like hormones, and cognitive behaviors, like your habits. That is why distress, not stress, needs to be addressed and controlled, whereas stress just needs simple actions like exercise, nutrition, and regular sleep to be balanced. So, what are the practical ways to deal with distress? I'm glad you asked. Number 1, analyze the situation. Stop and write down everything that affects your everyday emotional or physical well-being. Don't leave anything out. This is a fantastic exercise to begin judging and problem solving externally from yourself. This is key in making a healthy decision about moving forward without yourself/ego. If it suits you better, start a journal. I personally found this to be super impactful. Journaling gave me the opportunity to release my thoughts onto the paper and out of my mind. Again, giving me an outside perspective and objective view to help with solving distress at the root. Investigating these journal entries prompts questions such as, what caused this? Is the bad sleep the problem of my distress, or is it the other way around? What was I thinking prior to the moment of distress? What do I habitually do after an experienced distress? Did I react or respond? How would I rather respond to it? And how would a different response change a situation? These questions help you solve distress at the root, while also beginning the visualization practice of holding a better, future view of oneself. Number 2, deal with the root cause of stress first, not the symptoms. We typically overemphasize the importance of recovery, but it is not always the solution to fix the root cause of distress. Sometimes there is a problem that should be dealt with immediately, but for some reason, we avoid it and say we'll start on Monday, when we've had time to rest up. It might be difficult to face some things or to even simply think about them, but the idea of someday, but just not today, we will be better prepared. Sorry, but yeah, this never works. Not for bad habits, relationship, smoking, work, or money problems. Inaction makes them grow like cancer, continuing to take more and more of you daily. The earlier you face it, the sooner you'll start the recovery. Start with the first step, and you'll be fine to take it one step at a time. We're made to survive and thrive, and if you weren't capable of succeeding, you wouldn't be challenged. Adopt this belief and fortify your spirit so you may overcome the past you. Number 3, ditch the things that drain your energy, like smoking, alcohol, toxic people, and staying up late. You'd be amazed at how much better your energy levels will be once the leaks have been plugged. There's 2 major ideas you need to reject if you want salvation. 1, there's no such thing as too much stress. So ridiculous it's laughable, but those that say this fall short from understanding what stress is. Go back to the beginning of this video to remember what I'm talking about here. Simply know your limits, you are not God, and stay within it. Then every once in a while, you can go and redefine those limits. 2, good stress relieves bad stress. Sorry to break it to you once again, But stress is stress. Your body doesn't know if you're going for a 1-rep max lift or fighting a lion. Your body will release cortisol and adrenaline to keep you alive whenever stressed. However, worth noting is that at the same time there is no amount of stress you couldn't handle if you had enough time, treatment and the resources to recover. Essentially, stress and recovery must be in balance. You don't want too much of either one. Too little stress and too much recovery means you aren't evolving as a person and wasting your potential. Too much stress and too little recovery means you aren't evolving and are burning out your life force. This is where having the appropriate training routine and nutrition regimen to fit your needs comes in. Let's go over exactly how you can do that for yourself. First, leave everything that is secondary behind. Focus your energy and time by prioritizing what's most important. This is an essential skill for everyone to learn as they mature. What are the most vital things in your life right now? Focus on those and watch everything fit themselves into the back seat. Recovery is one of those top priorities that usually falls to something secondary like keeping up with the Kardashian soy flicks. Number 4, learn to manage your time, and make time for the things you want to do. Modern society has made us such poor managers of time. Marketing and advertising budgets tear our attention into 100 different places at once. Thank the internet for the 7 seconds attention span you have. On a daily basis, most of us go through our Facebook feed then our email box as we read half an article with our morning coffee. The average is to have 2 to 3 different screens seek your attention in the first 1 hour of the day. That's the phone, TV and laptop all calling your name, saying look at me. Don't let these tools manage you. You must learn to manage the tools. You have to plan your schedule ahead of time. Only then will you have the opportunity to be disciplined with your time. In this sense, discipline really is freedom, as it is the power to make decisions on how we spend out time. Without this practice, we leave the decision making to always include the emotions of right there, right now. This is a great way to fail with dealing with distress. One way is to block off your time. Time blocking opens time for you to do the secondary things you like. We want to keep these lessons under 8 minutes. Finish the lesson by watching part 2 now. You will learn how you can fragment impossible tasks into an easy step-by-step process and the last 2 facts about distress and the most powerful actions to go from an average Joe to absolute pro at dealing with chronic distress.